we have not met, please come introduce yourself. I would love to meet you and talk with you. I am going to talk very short because that's not why we're here. But I do want to take the opportunity, first of all, to welcome you to our museum. We are thrilled you're here. In the era of COVID, this, I believe, is the largest group we've had in a year. So thank you very much for coming. Let me tell you just a couple of things about tonight. And I want to start with a video. Let's see if the audio works.
You're part of the reason I got into politics. You know that, don't you?
You talk.
I'm actually sort of related to you. A little bit. My wife is. When I moved here after I got out of school and we were married, and you were very gracious to help me as I got started in business, had my landscaping business, and did some introductions for me and introduced me to the folks down at the chamber and got me involved down there. And the chamber was just starting their Leadership Greer program. And you asked me if I wanted to do it. And I said, yeah, I'd love to do it. And then I found out it was about, $300 or something, wasn't it? And I said, well, I hadn't got that kind of money. And you said, well, if you'll make the time to do it, I'll pay for it. And you paid for it, and I'll win. And so I was part of Class 1 of Leadership Greer, and that gave me some real insight into what a great community this was. And a few years after that, I had the opportunity to run for mayor and got elected in '99 and have served since 2000. So I'm in the middle of my 5th term.
Well, I have to pat you on the back. You've done a tremendous job.
Well, thank you. Good folks like y'all have helped me along the way too.
Good folks like y'all have helped me along the way. And I just want to say that's what Leadership Greer is about. So there was a good folk, an older gentleman who came along beside a young businessman and helped him out to get into Leadership Greer, helped introduce to him what is valuable about Greer, introduced him to serving his community, and now that story is told over and over hundreds and hundreds of times. Lynn, do you know how many people have gone through this?
Over 500.
Over 500. Isn't that amazing? So Greer has been served in powerful ways by Leadership Greer. So one day I got this email from a person named Nicoya, who I'd never heard of. And do you know what my first thing to do was? I Googled Nicoya. And do you know what came up? This picture of her with hair to the sky. And I almost put it on the screen, but now this would have been too mean, so I didn't. But Nicoya said this class of Leadership Greer has decided to adopt the museum as their class project. And I cannot tell you what an incredible uplift that was to me and Nanette and Jonathan, that had decided we are going to take this struggling little museum and make something of it, but we just couldn't get it going ourselves. And we needed a partner. And Leadership Greer came along and did that. Let me just real quickly say this. Our country is losing its history. Williamsburg attendance is down 50%, and 400 historic home museums have closed. Ronald Reagan and Robert E. Lee's boyhood homes have sold to private people who live in them now. And all of those things happened before COVID. COVID has completely shut down the museum industry entirely. Beyond that, less than 50% of Americans know what the Bill of Rights even is. 4 out of 5 universities don't even require a history class at any point in the education. And so, why does a community like Greer need a museum like this? I want to give you a couple real quick reasons. One, to help people find their place in an intercultural world. This world is changed from what it used to be. It used to be that you lived in your little group of your little people and you were comfortable, but that's no longer the way it is. And people need help finding their place in that. It is a place where we share stories of freedom and equality and justice and struggle and loss and courage and triumph. And when a young person like a 5th grader or a 6th grader hears those stories and sees those things, they start to think, I can be part of that. And it helps guide their future and who they are and their thinking. It shows a path to unity and community. You know, especially the way media portrays conflict, we live in a conflict-filled society where my people don't like your people, and we don't get along. But in reality, that's a manufactured existence. In the real streets of Greer, we're side by side, serving each other together, and this museum needs to help young people understand how we have lived together and how we can continue to do so in unity and in community. A museum like this, do you know that many young people don't even know how democracy works? It helps young people see how a community can be run in a way that benefits everyone. I watched Rick Danner on the live stream of a city meeting listen to a community in our area that was saying we're being underserved, and that lady was passionate about how we're being neglected, and he was right up there saying, we're on it, we're on it, we're on it. We're right here with you, we're right here beside you, learning how this works. You explain the shared past of our communities, and it helps people understand the future. You know, teachers need help. And a history teacher can stand in front of a class and talk about something, but when that young person comes in here and they see the jar of depression era peanut butter from 1936 that still has not been opened because we might not have enough peanut butter, we've got to save that one. No one else gets that. This is a place where the door is open and it's free, and you can come in and experience a fantastic collection of our history. There's a library of research that's available here that you can't get anywhere else on the planet, and it's freely available to you. We make this history of our community part of a public trust. So I came into Greer Heritage Museum for the first time in about a year and a couple months ago. My son dragged me in and said, you need to see this. And what I saw kind of blew me away. There was an incredible historic facility. This building has a history to it that is amazing. And it has secret passageways. Yes. There's a secret overlook looking over you right now. I was stunned to find out that it was a museum that was not $150,000 in debt like every other museum on the planet. That this museum actually had a little bit of money in the bank and was not in debt was an incredible position of strength. And I saw immense opportunity in that is looking for ways to integrate culture and arts and history into its experience, and we weren't participating. So what an opportunity to get involved and become part of that. And then the city recognized our value. The city owns this building. You know how scarce property is in Greer right now and how valuable it is? You know how undersized Greer City Hall is? But they see the value in this being here. And they have invested in us in this. In fact, we had massive rain come pouring down this wall and destroy this wall and some over there and all over our ceiling. And the city of Greer came on and put on a brand new roof for us, and then Leadership Greer came in, thank you Brent, and got this whole thing repainted and fixed up. There's a recognition of the value here that many cities don't have. And so we are in an incredible position to take this museum and make it something significant. I didn't mention on this list, I had a museum curator from Greenville come down and go through with me. I was looking for some advice on how to approach some of our challenges. And he said, do you realize your collection is bigger and better than the Upcountry History Museum in downtown Greenville? We have an astonishing collection here. But what I also found was that this museum was started 30 years ago, 1996, by a generation of people who have aged out. And they needed some young people to come along and pick this up and make it go somewhere, catch their vision. And so that vision, I just want to tell you, and I will end with this, our vision is that the Greer Heritage Museum will become an integral part of the educational and cultural fabric of Greer. Like we desire to make this woven into every young kid that grows up here, that we're just a part of their experience, and they learn where they came from and how they fit into it through meaningful and memorable educational experiences. I had a 16-year-old girl come through, this was probably 6 months ago now. She came through with a young man, and I met him at the door, and I said, welcome here, what brought you to the museum? And this is what that 16-year-old girl said. She said, I came through the museum in elementary school, and I loved it. And I told myself then, if I ever get a boyfriend, he has to like the museum, or I won't go out with him. And so this was his first time in the museum, and it was her test. I mean, she just told it right to his face. If you want to spend time with me, you have to like the museum, right? One visit in elementary school was meaningful and memorable to her in a way that was carrying on. And so we want to do those experiences that meet the public wherever they are and transport them to a different place in time and use the past to inform their present. We want to help everyone find their place in the story that is Greer. Let me tell you one example of that. Just a few weeks ago, a young couple came through. They spoke very, very poor English. They were from Japan, and neither of them had ever left Japan. They'd both grown up there, spent their whole lives there, but his job transferred him to Greer, South Carolina. And so they moved into Greer, and they said to me, they said, we have struggled to figure out how to connect who we were back there to what this is. And they came to the museum to figure out how to connect their experiences. And you know, it was interesting. We walked all the way through here, and they were curious, and they saw it all. Their main comment up to this point was, your country is very young. You don't have a history. You call this a history museum. But after going through all of that, we came out and we went into that corner where there's some artifacts of our railroad past. And all of a sudden they said, railroads. We know railroads. And we started talking about railroads. And it became their connection. Isn't that weird? It became their connection between what they knew in Japan, what they knew here. We were a passenger station town for a lot of years. Why aren't you a passenger station town anymore? Why don't you have high-speed rail? What's going on here? We got to talk about the American experience. And this young couple, these are as much a part of Greer as the people who were born here, but they don't feel that because they don't understand that, and this building helps them connect in that way. And so we've put together a strategic plan. I'm not going to walk you through it, but one point in our strategic plan is that we are going to build an extensive team of public and private partners, including city departments, businesses, educational institutions, donors, volunteers, and history museum specialists. And so in our strategic plan, we wanted to find partners in the city. And without really doing anything toward that, an email from Nicoya came up. And so Leadership Greer stepped up and said, we're here to help. I can't thank them all, and you know that problem of thanking people, that there are 18 people in the class, and I'm going to do it anyway. So thanks to Nicoya, who led this class. I want to thank Cheryl, because on every phone call, she was the person who was, anything I said, she would get a big grin and go like, yeah. That kind of affirmation of your work is valuable. And then Brent, who came in here and spent more time than all the rest of the class combined, fixing things and working on things and arranging people to come out, and like that man adopted this museum personally, not just as a class. So thank you all. We have a vision for this museum, which is to take its exhibits to the next level. I'll just give you a sneak preview of that, where you're sitting right now. We want to turn into Trade Street on downtown Greer, with each doorway, each slot being a business that was on Trade Street that was meaningful to the history of Greer at that time. And so starting back here, we'll have the train station, we'll have Grace Photography Studio, the photographer that we have the record of Greer because of him, and going around, we'll have Ponders and the Greer Theater and stuff. But I say, please join us. There are 3 of us. we have no staff. This is a volunteer organization. We have all kinds of needs all over the place. I have some track lights right back there that were donated by Lowe's, and I am not an electrician. So, like anything you can do, we can use your help. But this partnership with Leadership Greer has been immensely valuable to me. Our city is going to just feel the impact of that for many years to come. And so I thank you very much. Nicoya, I'll shut up. Take it over.
Well, I'm not going to be for you guys long. Thank you, David. Thank you for your family. Just awesome call to action for our class, and to the original group who, through the process of our leadership class, we were kind of pushed to select the project. So I wanted to send a thank you to that group who navigated our class to a partnership with the museum. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you for guys for donating and like really believing in our vision. This was a beautiful turnout, especially with COVID, so we appreciate you guys being here. There's alcoholic beverages, water, snacks. Please enjoy. We want to celebrate all that's been done and just allow you guys to kind of see what's going on around the museum. Also, the most important part, we want to present David in the museum with our check. All right. So our class officially raised $22,290.
Amazing. And during COVID.
And I'm just gonna put this out there. Leadership Greer, class 41 is the best class in Just put that out for all the classes here.
Every class is different. Eventually we'll all come to that same, yeah. I don't think I'm going to get it back up there, huh? Keep going.
I know, I got it.
That big old space, you can put your picture up there too.